Welcome everybody to Final Fantasy Tactics game. Turn this down so you can hear my lovely voice. Alright. So this video, I'm going to be going over my thoughts and stuff on the game, on the remastered. I just woke up like a couple hours ago, so you get all the fun watery eyes, you know. So my history with Final Fantasy Tactics is this is my favorite game of all time. I own the original PlayStation 1. In fact, let me go get it. I'm staring right at it, so hang on a sec. So, let's put me up right here. The original, well, not original because this is the greatest hits, but I own the original Final Fantasy Tactics PlayStation 1 game. See? Very cool. I bought it sealed. Off eBay. I paid, at the time, I think it was like $30. So worth it. Sealed. And yeah, it's my favorite game of all time. Alright? The reason is because it was kind of the first tactic game that I ever like really got into. There was Tactics Ogre, but I never really got heavy into that. There was Vandal Hearts also on the PlayStation 1. They had Vandal Hearts 1 and 2. Their difficulty was a lot more harder than Final Fantasy Tactics, if I'm being honest. For whatever reason, I remember them being extremely hard. But Final Fantasy Tactics had that balance of difficulty and leveling. I love the leveling up structure. I love the classes, all that kind of stuff, right? So the job system is really unique in this this game. And what I'm gonna do here is go over my group and some advice here and all that kind of stuff, and kind of go over like the jobs and just really dive into this game. So first of all, I want to say that the remastered version with the quality of life options that they have added in here is fantastic. Like, they did their homework. As I understand it, the original code for the Final Fantasy Tactic game was lost. What they say, it was lost, or it was corrupted, or something along those lines. So they kind of had to go by the Line of War. I think that's how it's pronounced. The PSP version of the remastered, or remake, I should say, on that. So they took that game, as I understand it, and then they remastered it. So the quality of life things are: you can flee from battles, you can retry the battles mid-combat. You have a sidebar, like a side turn order now. So you can see what's coming up and everything. Obviously, they have this menu at the top here that you can like do various things. The save system is here, like you press triangle to save. Or no, so a triangle was to open your party up. Start was to save and all that. So really cool that they added this menu system in here. They have an inventory screen here where you can see all the stuff that you got. They have a chronicle tab here where you can like kind of relive events of the story so far. You send party members out for quests, and you get collections here. I've only gotten sword so far. All this kind of stuff here. You can look at your quests results, the quests that your guys finished. I mean, these are errands. The actual like quests throughout the game you have to still discover and find to unlock characters. So that has none of the actual gameplay in it has changed. It's all there. So I'm really impressed with the remastered. I give this a 10 out of 10. This is my first playthrough of remastered, but I play like a bunch of hours now, and I'm blown away by the heart and soul, that the charm in this game that they brought back. What's cool is that you can play this remastered, and then you can obviously play the original. But I'm going with the remastered here because the quality of life improvements are fantastic. Okay, so that's kind of my review, my rating of this remastered game quickly. So, I'm gonna go over the job classes first.
Was there something?
So let's talk about them here. So Squire is what everyone starts out the game with. Okay, Squire, Chemist, Knight, and Archer are your four that you'll see right away. They are the main basis from branching off to other job classes. So Squire is pretty much you're gonna get for Razma, the main character here. He's gonna have extra abilities as you go through the game, whereas the other characters you have will just have regular. Well, let's look at it here. If we go to our, they'll have Focus, Rush, Throw Stone, Salve. I'm not going to go through like each ability, that'll take forever. But you have Counter Tackle, you have all these, and you have Movement 1. So that's what all of those abilities are for your regular characters. So Razma gets a little more. He gets Tailwind, Chance, Steel. I think he gets Yell. They're probably going to maybe call it different here. He gets a couple, I think 2 or 3 more by the end of the game. So it's very valuable for Ramza to have these in there, because no other character will have the extra ones here. Okay. But the Squire overall is your starting point, and the most important one ability is the JP boost. So every time you're in combat with your guys or girls, you gain job points, and job points are how you learn or buy your abilities as you go through the game in combat. So it'll take you a long time to master all the classes if you're going to go that way. But Squire is your basic class. I doubt you're going to go through the entire game as a squire for any of your characters. But key ones of note are the JP boost, that is a must for your characters to buy all the abilities and gain more job points as you go through combat and everything. Okay. The movement one is key also because you want to get your movement up there, especially you got like fast characters that you're doing, even slower characters like a knight. You want their movement to be decent enough. You want it to be at least 5, unless you're going kind of like with the powerhouse thing, and there's a whole like build system in this game that could be complicated to go through. But movement 1 and JP boost are your key ones in this class right here. So overall, the Squire class is okay to start. Obviously, you'll need stuff for it. So the Chemist is where you're going to learn potions and consumables that you buy during the game. Very important class here because you're going to need, like, obviously to heal. You're going to need ether to basically get back magic points, which is MP at the top there beside your health points. If you're going with like mage related skills or classes, you got antidote. You got like these ones here, like you can go blind, silence. You can turn into toad. The most important one here is stone, because if one of your characters turns to stone and you have not gotten them out of that and the battle ends, you lose that character forever. And if your main character goes that way, it's game over. So very important to have Golden Needle and have a bunch of those. Undead status, that one honestly never bothered my character group. I may have gotten like once or twice one of my characters got turned. I can't remember what creatures do that, but I think it's vampires. I think the vampire enemies do that, but it didn't really come up as often. Phoenix Down's very important because that resurrects any dead or fallen characters, I should say. And this is very important during combat. When one of your characters falls, including your main character, they have amount of turns for one of your characters to get to them and revive them. So usually it's like 3 or 4. So you got to haul ass to get to them, resurrect them, and get them out of harm's way. But Phoenix Down is very important. There are spells and stuff like that can revive fallen characters. Not just the consumables here, but Phoenix Down is important still, no matter what, to get as an ability here for your Chemist. Auto Potion's nice. Whenever they get hit, they take the least costly potion when they get hit, and what have you. Throw items is if you're using the ability to throw all your consumables to friendly allies to consume whatever you threw at them, which is all your potions and whatnot. Treasure Hunter is definitely for finding the hard to get rare items, especially if you're going into the secret dungeon, which there is one. It's 10 levels where there's like really cool equipment there that you can find, and this needs to be on your character for that, because there's specific spots on the combat map that they can walk on that will have something, pick up something. So, it's good to have. Obviously, this goes into the slot where your movement +1 or movement +2 or jump 1, jump 2 go. So you'll lose your movement there, but if you're looking to find specifically an item there that is on a map from reading up on battles and stuff, you'll want to have this equipped. So a couple of things there. We're chemists. Knight is pretty much like your tank. There honestly isn't a lot of must-haves other than, I would say, equip heavy armor if you want to make like a non-heavy armor class have armor on. Okay. Same if you want them to have shield or swords instead of like whatever weapon they have, like a mage having a sword, right? Parry is meh. The knight skills themselves, the best ones are Ren speed and Ren power, which means you hinder enemies with their speed and their power and their magic. Those are like the top three here. Rend MP's nice. Breaking weapons there is alright. Yeah, not that, but like the main ones here are the bottom ones here. Rend magic, power, speed, and MP. Archer, unfortunately, Archer is not as good in the beginning. I really wish that the Archer would have come with some more powerful stuff, because by the time you get to like, oh my god, it's just watering here. By the time you get later in the game, the damage output of the Archer sucks. You'll have to like put in like attack power up and power gauntlets for the Archer's damage to be up. But its power output, like damage output, is not going to be. Don't expect it to reach like 200s and stuff like that. I've never gotten an Archer to be that high in damage, because other classes can have better damage output than the Archer. I mean, you can't expect bows and crossbows to have significant damage for long. The Archer's fine in the beginning, at like the first maybe 20 levels, they're fine. But once you get by that, then you know, the best abilities for the Archer to take into other classes is the jump +1. This is for the Lancer Dragoon class, which I'll get to, and concentration. Those are probably the two best ones, I believe, from the Archer class here that you want to pick up for abilities. And the aim stuff is fine. Like, it does, you know, if you manage to pull it off, it does, you know, significant damage there. But like, it takes time, and in order for you to make if you're going straight Archer through the whole game, which is fine, you want to get like there's the what's it called now? You have to basically get their charge time down. We'll get to that, I believe, to get the charge rate down. You need that for the Archer, because the Archer's aiming at one of the targets, and by the time the turn goes around there, that target may move, and then, you know, your aim shot is wasted. So you have to be sure that you look through the lineup of turn order that aim shot is going to hit. That's the pain in the ass with the Archer for these to actually pull off, especially with like high, you know, turn rate. So overall, the Archer is probably, I would say, the weakest class in my opinion out of all of them, despite with concentration and jump +1. Now, of note, concentration is for attacks. Okay. So melee attacks, shooting attacks, concentration's for that. Concentration doesn't work for talk skills, which we'll get to that one class there It doesn't work for stealing, unfortunately, because I've looked into that. You think it would, but raising your bravery or the character's bravery does help with stealing. By the way, I've read up on that actually recently, because the bravery here, you see at the bottom here of the MP, bravery and faith. Like the bravery and faith works like this: your bravery is the higher it is, the more damage you do, and the more successful you are with combat sort of deals. The lower it is, the worse you get. And if your bravery goes like basically all the way down to zero, your character turns to a chicken and becomes useless. Faith works the opposite. If the higher your faith, the more danger it is for your that character to leave your party and never come back. Um, Faith below zero, I think I can't remember what happens with that. So you want to keep faith in the middle, okay? I believe, yeah, faith. Uh, let's actually look that up. If faith drops below zero, I've never had that happen honestly, but I know that bravery, um, higher it is, the better it is. Okay, so let's have a look here. Faith. So so if your faith is a decent high, magic damage will be high. Okay. I figured, braveries with melee stuff, faith would have to be magic stuff. Um, Sorry, I'm just reading here. So if your character's faith is between 85 and 94, you'll get a warning that your players may leave your party. Obviously, your main character won't leave your party. He's your main character, so I figured that much. Um, doesn't really say what happens when you get zero faith. Well, I don't plan on it, and probably don't do it. Um, the Mediator class, it's called different in here, Orator, I believe. Um, so you're I'm gonna call it a mediator because that's what the PSX version or PlayStation version was. So the mediator can make your bravery go up or down. Same with your faith with its talk skill. So when you do it on your characters, it raises it permanently by one every time you do it to a character. So always keep that in mind. This is kind of like how you can keep your bravery and faith under control with a talk skill. So in case you have one stat higher than the other and you want to lower it, that's one way to do it. All right. So going back to the archer, one of the weaker classes, as I mentioned. So I'll move on. Monk is my favorite class. The reason being is that its damage output is insane. And especially the way you build your character, you can make it like the most powerhouse character possible. Especially if you give it to your main character. Your main character, Ramza, actually does more damage off the set more melee damage, more magic damage. If you're going like either with summoner, black mage, or knight or monk or whatever, the damage output he does is far better than your other characters, always. So I currently have him in this build, in this game, as a monk with double punch. So he's already, he may be at level 50, but he's doing like 200, almost close to 200 per hit. Now, when I've gotten him these characters to 99 by the end of the game, he's doing 999,999, which is insane. The maximum damage that it can possibly do, right? So the monk has a lot of really good abilities. Of note, you have Chakara, which heals MP and HP, not only on the character themselves, but square, about 2 squares, I think, in size around them. So they can do that for multiple characters, which is amazing. They have a revive to bring back KO characters. I keep saying dead, but Shockwave, which is a line that anything in the line they can hit multiple targets with. Oroblast they can hit from afar on a punch. And Cyclone is they can basically, if they get surrounded, they can use this to hit multiple targets. They have a counter, so anything that hits them, they hit back. First Strike is interesting because anything that kind of like attacks them, they can attack back right away and not get hit. It doesn't. The percentage of that, I noticed that in the remastered, it does a little more than the original PlayStation version. It's just something I have noticed with that, but whatever. Brawler, basically, like you can give this to any class there, so that way they have the strength of the monk using the martial arts skill. And Life Font basically means that wherever they move, they gain health. So overall, the monk has like amazing skills all around for various things, which you can use on various classes along with whatever main class your character has. You're going full monk, their damage output is nuts. It can reach high potential damage in melee. The only thing that holds the monk back, their weakness, because every class has one, is that they can't wear armor. Alright? They can only wear one set piece of armor, and that's it. And they can't carry weapons. So, you can mess around with equip armor and equip swords, and still kind of like mess around with having martial arts on some of these abilities for a character. But if you're going straight monk, that's what you get. That's the weakness there. Is like less armor, so they're susceptible to getting hit hard. So. White Mage, to be honest, it's fine for curing, and you have a regain. You have a regain is regain hit points. Re-raise, they have, it's obviously a healing class, but it's never been one that I've really used. The more important skills you take from here is regenerate. So upon receiving damage, the character basically like walks around and starts to heal up. Magic defense boost is nice if you're going with just straight out mage, but overall I think the white mage is the second weakest class in this whole game. They do have one massive damaging spell, which is the Holy, but in the end, like, are you really going to waste this entire class just to get that? When there are better damage output classes in there. So, White Mage is fine if you're going with strictly healer. If you're going to play a White Mage I would suggest having just all healing. So you do a bit of martial arts there. You get, the Chakara, which will help basically like rejuvenate some of that MP that you've lost because you're going to be casting all this stuff. I mean, there's an idea there. Um, you go Chemist, you get all the healing and consumables there. I mean, that's a straight up healer there. Basically, if you're going full white mage mode, full healer, they won't be fighting at all. No damage output. So that's the best advice I could give for this class. But it's not been one that I've been keen on. Black Mage is your typical wizard that shoots, casts fire over frost, all this stuff. So all of these spells are very useful. The death one is percentage to go up to actually work is small, but it does work. Toad is very good. Changes characters into toads. But overall, like the damage output, if you put the magic damage up on the character, it's fantastic. The only thing with these spells you have to worry about is because they go into a area, you can hit your own guys. So you have to be wary of where you're placing the template when you're casting the spell, so you don't hit your own guys, because the damage output can hit them as much as the enemy. And if you cast it on an enemy, be wary that if you don't time it right, that enemy can move, go over to where one of your guys are, and now they're inside that aura, that area that it can get hit. The spell can hit them, and the spell can hit one of your friendlies or whoever friendlies in that area of effect. So with the wizard, you or the black mage, you have to be aware of this. This can even, like, the enemy can like move up to the wizard and he gets caught in his own spell. So just be wary of that. That's one thing I don't like about the black mage, is the fact that his spells can harm everything. But it's like a chaotic class. So magic boost is like a huge must for the black mage abilities, especially if you're going with summoner, another big damaging spell class. Definitely something you should pick up there if you're going mage. And that's the black mage. Time mage is another one of those, like the white mage, that I don't really use. It has cool like effects and everything, but you do unlock characters like throughout the story there. That there's one in particular that makes this time mage, useless. You've quite frank. While this is cool, you can slow people down, you can float, you can reflect. It's not total crap, but it's like it's one of the unique kind of mages. I would say if you're going like using the time mage, again, you'll want to have like a magic attack boost for its damaging ones. Let me see here. Okay. But it's not a heavy damaging mage class, so you want to have something like your chemist abilities there to put an MP back up, or maybe throw a monk in there, monk abilities to boost, heal, and maybe have a little bit of punch there for the time mage, because time mage itself, again, is not a full damaging class. Maybe you want to make a knight with a little bit of time mage spells in there just for the hell of it. I mean, that's something to consider there. But overall, full time mage, I wouldn't really recommend it. I mean, honestly, like these like specialty spells, their percentages to hit more than not varies. So you just be aware of that. Mana Shield is really good ability to pick up if you don't care about your MP. If you have a melee, class and they have a little bit of MP, you throw this on there and damage will hit that, be taken away from your MP rather than their health. So that's something to consider. And teleport is very interesting because you can teleport all over the combat map. This is dependent on your movement at the time, so be wary of that, but it is a neat little kind of movement ability there. You can get around the map a little faster. So that's another skill that I wouldn't say it's a must, but it is very interesting. Okay, let's go to Summoner. Oop. So Summoner is the best magic damaging character class. What am I in the game? Because it's got all these damaging spells in there. Golem is amazing because Golem, you cast it and all your guys basically get protected from like a god essentially for a certain amount of damage that it does. So you cast it, and let's say an arrow's coming at your guy, or somebody's attacking them with a sword. So it's kind of neat. You see like a hand come up, and it hits the hand, and then the amount of damage is taken away. And this, depending on your level and everything, that damage output goes down, and then its effectiveness does eventually go away. But it's still a really awesome spell for your guys. Carbuncle is the opposite of that, where it's magic being cast at like for damage magic and reflects as best it can. Percentage-wise, the reflection is varied. And then you have like heavy damaging, summons. Like basically it summons like a big giant creature, and it does its damage and does the animation and does that. But you get your magic up, your magic attack power up. This is a powerhouse. The Summoner is like the best damaging caster in the game. Oh, and by the way, this is a question mark here. You get this ultimate Summoner spell only if you get to level 10 of the secret dungeon and survive a magical attack by the boss at the final floor. If you survive that, you learn that last spell, which is basically like kill everything spell. The other ones here is half MP. Very important for any caster there because it halves the MP used for casting any spell. So if you have a spell that costs 10, now it costs 5. Very cool. Alright. Go back to Ramsey here. So Thief is very good for stealing objects from enemies. So if there's like a sword or if there's an armor, not everything can be stolen. Like story-specific weapons, for instance, can't be stolen. It does tell you on screen can't be stolen. But if there's stuff that can be, like blades and whatnot that you really want that you can't buy in the shop yet, or there is some stuff that can't be bought in the shop at all that you can steal, the Thief is the best class to get that stuff from enemies. The percentage of it working depends on the level or the kind of higher end ranking boss type character, but you can steal from the majority of the enemies out there. Monsters don't wear equipment, so you can very much like forget about that. But if you're fighting humans, you can steal from them, which is cool. So very important to have a thief if you want to steal shit. Poaching is good if you want to kill enemies, and then you take their furs to the fur shop, and you can actually unlock specific weapons through that. I haven't really delved too deep into the poaching kind of thing, even going back to my multiple playthroughs on the PlayStation version. It was just one of those things, but this version I might look at that, may check out more into specifics of weapons or whatnot for that. So movement 2 and jump 2 are definitely abilities that you want to take. Jump 2 is for your Dragoon Lancer, and movement 2 is +2 movement. Always very effective. Orator. This is the Mediator class I was referring to, where they can entice enemies to join you permanently. You get a tamed skill where you get the monster to critical, and they can join your party. Really cool. The Mediator is specifically designed for that, for taming monsters that join your party and to try and get enemies to join your group if you kind of like, the starting build of whatever enemy that was. The entice percentage of working in the game is, it doesn't work all the time, but if you get lucky and you manage to lure in a nicely leveled enemy, cool. So it's not 100%, but it's just one of those things. Overall, the Orator / Mediator is a niche class. You either will use it or you won't use it. If you're looking to get your whole, like a big party of monsters and stuff, this is the class you use. Otherwise, if you don't care and you just want to unlock characters throughout the storyline, you won't be using this. So it's kind of a niche class there. The Mystic, again, like the Time Mage, it's got interesting spells, but it's not a class I use. So the Time Mage and the Mystic is the Oracle in called the Oracle in PlayStation version, but is a niche. You either will be interested to use these or you won't. It's one of those classes that I personally never used. Defense boost is probably the best ability all around for you to get from the Mystic. But other than that, it's these are interesting here. Like this one here, Mana Font. If you're a mage, you walk around, you get your MP up. Obviously, this is a very good ability to get. They call them different. Like a lot of these are called different from the PlayStation version. So I'm getting used to their names. But Mana Font is another good one for mages to walk around and get MP back up. But there are faster ways to do it, like consumables and the monk's ability and stuff that give them significant more MP back. But Mana Font is still a useful ability and defense boost. But Mystic overall is again like the Time Mage and the White Mage is just specifics. If you're gonna kind of go with trick magic, have at it. So the Geomancer is cool. So none of these use any MP, and they basically like are AoE hits, and they do different status effects sometimes. The percentage of that going off is very small, but they do hit an AoE effect with damage. So it's cool. If you're kind of using Geomancer abilities here, I recommend using a knight, kind of getting that armor, and then you throw this in there, and they have kind of like a AoE type of attack in case like they either get surrounded or what have you. It's an interesting build, maybe going that way. Attack boost is very important ability to pick up from the Geomancer for getting your maximum damage up in any melee class, so that's very important there. Um, Using a Geomancer all the way through the entire campaign, the weakness of them is basically they can't wear heavy armor. You can make it skill ability where they can, obviously from the knight's skill set. But my opinion, like I would take like the abilities here and I would give them to another class that you're going to use in a melee sort of deal. So that way they have like a melee attack, but they also have a AOE option there. Keep in mind though that with your melee guys, you do want to have some healing abilities. So this again is just an option if you're just going to go with like a straight tank type of character and have your other characters heal them up throughout the combat. It is an option, but the Geomancer is neat with its AoE attacks and its status effects with them, if they are successful or not. So Lancer is the secondary damage output besides the monk that is available for the melee side of things. The knight is okay, but the Dragoon / Lancer is more effective with his javelin damage, which is can get high. Plus, he can jump from across the entire map onto targets there, and the time that it takes for him to actually jump and land, it's more short kind of charge time than the archer's aim. I have noticed that, and I have experimented with that in the past. I haven't really done it with this remastered version, but in the PlayStation version I did. I find that the jump, is a lot quicker to pull off than the aim status for the archer. But the Dragoon is the most armored up, most tanky kind of character that you can go for melee if you're going that way. Obviously, the monk damage output is higher, but the Lancer Dragoon is secondary in that the damage department. So you have all the jumps there to add to like making their area of jumping that much better. You can basically jump the whole screen if you got them all. Dragonheart's very nice because upon a hit they gain re-raise, so anytime that's on them and they fall, they re-raise. That's very cool. Equip pole arms. It's not bad if you want to have your one character have javelins. You just equip this ability to them and they can use javelins. By the way, javelins with the ninja ability, which I'm going to get into, you cannot dual wield. It's too bad. Ignore elevation is neat because, as you can see right there, it ignores how high things are, and then your character can pretty much jump up to those points. So overall, the Dragoons, all of their abilities are very effective and useful in multiple situations. The Samurai is another niche class. It's decently armored. It's basically a knight, pretty much, that has abilities using its katanas to basically like it can do like a around it, effect of damage. It's okay. It's not great. You do break your sword if you use these abilities there. That's why if you're doing this samurai, it's good to have multiples. with all this stuff here because you break your sword, and if you don't have that particular, um, if you run out, then you can't use it. So it's not a class that I use often. It's a class that I would throw on a side character just for fun. I like the look of the samurai. I like the armor of samurai, and just kind of like going around slashing enemies and stuff. What you're looking at mainly here is Bone Crusher. So this is cool where if they fall critical, then whatever hit them takes like a massive amount of damage. Here, physical attack, parry rate is the same as the bravery, which is cool. Equip katana, obviously, if you want your character to equip the weapon. Double hand is nice because you could double hand your javelin, which is good for the lancer, to really get like a really good solid hit, like per attack. So that one's pretty cool. But the samurai is again a niche class. It's you either will use it or you won't. It's there. Ninja's cool because ninjas can throw things. They throw weapons at targets there. You obviously have to have an inventory that you have like a lot of things you can throw away. They can throw bombs, they can throw daggers, they can throw pretty much like every weapon possible that you have in your inventory. The only thing you can't throw is armor. That'd be funny. Vanish is cool because when it gets hit, you turn invisible until you attack or use an ability. That's neat. Reflexes increase your defenses. That's a cool ability to have. Dual wield is really cool. The best ability for a monk because the monk hits twice. And this is what I was talking to when I was talking about the monk. Very key. And with Remza being a monk and hitting double, like 200, 300 per hit is insane. It can just obliterate enemies with this. Dual wield on like a knight, if you're doing it with like mage classes where you're able to like equip swords and then I don't know if you can dual wield poles or rods or canes. I don't think so. I haven't really tried because their damage output is not the greatest. But dual wielding swords and katanas and the monk for your melee classes is very important to have if you want to do like maximum damage output. So really cool. So the ninja is cool if you're using its class to dual wield, to throw stuff. You can make a ninja thief, which is really cool combination there. You can make a ninja mediator or orator, double class there for like talk skill or speech skill. Speechcraft is called in this game. And ninja. It's kind of a neat little combination there. What's cool about the ninja and the thief is that their speed is really good and their movement can be very insane. They can basically like over half the field they can move really quick, and their turns come up really quick. So that's a benefit for like these non-heavy tank classes. Their movement's really good and can like basically go in, steal, move away. And what's cool with the combination with Remza in his Squire package, he has a ability where he can up the speed of your characters by 1 each time he uses it, but still really cool. So you give it to like classes like this, and it makes them like their turn come up a lot faster. So really cool class. That one is I'm trying to think. It's the what do they call him in this one? In the original, it's called the Mathematician. Here, I think they call it differently. But this class, I have no intention of unlocking it. Like, there are people that I've seen use it, but it's a complicated class. Like, it can be powerful using it in a right way, but it's weird. It, like, casts stuff, but using multiples and whatever. It's a complicated class. I can't even, like, describe it in this video because it's, like, crazy. Look it up. I would suggest look it up if you're going to use this class. But I never unlock it unless I'm really bored. Mathematician is a weird class. Yeah, I'll say that much. Okay, so Dancer. I got a Dancer here. Dance is really cool because it's a dancer. It does all these different dances here, so it can heal up MP, it can heal HP, it can increase the speed, it can increase physical attack power, increase magic attack power. This nameless song basically gives you positive status effects. And Finale, basically, this one I don't use that much, but it makes all the ones hit take their turn immediately. Kind of deal. Movement 3 is another special thing you want to get for this. Fly isn't bad, but you'd rather have your movement being a maximum. But the dancer's cool for like buffing your guys. And you can kind of keep them off to the side because unless you change their action, they keep singing the same song and continuing to deliver whatever you currently have them singing out of all these. So Dancer is a really neat. It's definitely a niche kind of ability. I would say that you combine this Bard, and it was called the Dancer in the PlayStation version, but the Bard with the White Mage for healing, that could work. Okay. Dancer with Knight, just to give the Knight a little boost, doesn't hurt. You could have a Chemist Dancer, doesn't hurt at all. So with the Bard, you can kind of pick and choose, kind of like, you could have a Mediator. I kind of call them the Mediator. With a Bard, having a speechcraft and then the dancing. So there's different combinations there. You could have a Bard Thief, So it's really cool how you can kind of make like a non-heavy tank, kind of have like different aspects from other classes in there. And the final class is called the Mime. I'm not sure if they called it different in this remastered version because I haven't unlocked it yet, but you need to have all these requirements to unlock this guy. Pretty much the Mime, it copies other people's what they just performed. It's weird. I've used the Mime maybe like once. Same as the Mathematician, like once, but not really. And it's not a class that I look into. It is powerful. The Mime is powerful, but it's just not one that I really use all that often. I guess if you want to get like old and powerful, the Mime would probably be the powerful class to go for. Alright, so now that I've gone through all of that, which is a lot, I'm going to go over my group, my party structure real quick. So,
Was there something?
your main character, I recommend going Monk. For the damage output that Ramza can do, this is your best option. Now, you can go multiple ways with this, but you want to go with the double hit, so dual wield. Your movement, I'm probably going to end up learning movement 3 just because, it's good to have. But your dual wield, so that way he's hitting twice. You have counter on there, so if he gets hit, he hits back twice. With the damage output as he increases in level is insane. Your metal, so in with the Squire, it's called fundamentals for the other characters in their Squire abilities, but for Ramza, it's called metal. It's really cool because as you saw there at the beginning when I was talking about the Squire, he gets like the added abilities that he can do, like speed up people and shit, where he gives up his health to give someone else health, that kind of stuff. So you put on like stuff like this where it buffs his damage, and then, as I mentioned, the monk's weakness is not having, armor. That's an unfortunate side effect there. If you're not going with dual wield, then I suggest that you put attack up. You're hitting once, but the attack power does go up. But for maximum damage, this is the build that I always go for in my playthrough. Rarely do I ever change it. The only other class for the main character that I have done in the past is Summoner, because the magic damage output, if you build Ramza up to that point with magic damage up and all that fun stuff, can be astronomical. So with the Summoner, it's lights out pretty much. Getting to that, especially if you're giving the level 99, just clean the floor with a lot of the non-boss type of creatures. It's crazy. Alright. So in my party, I do have an Orator / Mediator with Steel. So that way, if there's any items that I need or want, I can just send her there and they can steal their shit and then get out of there. I threw on Tame, okay? Because eventually you are going to go through the game and you're going through these areas and you're going to reach the I think it's called the Clockwork location or whatever, where I believe it's the only place in the game that sells guns or pistols, which is what orators and archers and chemists can use. Archers, I think you have to equip gun though. But chemists and orators / mediators are the ones that can carry the pistols without any ability having to do so. And it's nice because it's chip damage and they can get away. But I use Steel Thief pretty much with this one, where I can tame creatures, add them to my party if I want them. There's some really nice powerful creatures later in the game as you go through them, and you can get on your side like dragons and stuff. Just do like a party of monsters and you're golden. You have a counter. It does work for guns, by the way, in this one. In the original PlayStation version, I can't remember if guns countered or not. But the steel stuff is really good, so that's why I put this in the party. Lancer, you all knew it was coming. The Lancer's damage output with his jump and spear damage is insane. I got attack boost on there. Reflexes, this I kind of go back and forth with that one. Dragonheart, only because he can re-raise with Dragonheart if he gets knocked down. And then I throw items in there where I master the chemist on all the stuff that I need. so he can go around and he can heal people and whatnot. Um, and then obviously I have like a ability where I up his damage and everything and make him a powerhouse. Plus, you see, his health there is the highest out of all of my characters, including my main character, and that's the point of the Lancer, Dragoon. um, like, it takes a long time for him to die. The only drawback of like these tanks is obviously, you know, the status effect stuff like death sentence and stone and whatnot like that. Obviously, enemies are going to try and do that to the tanks because that's what they do. But a powerhouse of a tank, the Lancer is the way to go. So between him and the Monk, the damage output for me and my party is awesome. Here I've decided we're in this party here to go with a dancer, just for having standing in the background and dancing and buffing my guys and healing them and all that kind of stuff. Not much more with this one here. And then Summoner. So Summoner, you got the magic boost in there. This, for some reason, actually works more percentage-wise when he's attacked, and he attacks right back. It's quite hilarious. And then I have here, you know, boosting magic up here, and then I throw in items there so that way he can heal himself and others, and also give himself back MP with the ether stuff, the ether consumables. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with the party members now. Finally, just a quick mention of unlockable characters. So Mustadio is really good for the gun play he has, where he can he has abilities where he can
of course
go into it, where he can mobilize, disable, and any enemy that's evil, he turns to stone. This is the most powerful one that he has. You can just go, oh, you're stone. You're stone. And what's cool about this is that those annoying enemies like undead and stuff that can be such a pain in the ass, oh, you're stone now. So I don't have to deal with you. What I suggest with him is you basically have, and you could go with like pretty much like anything from the other classes and stuff, but I suggest going with items. I suggest getting things that speed him up, move 2, battle boots, which I already have on him, stuff like that. Like for his any of these 3 slots, anything that can like boost his speed or defense, stuff like that, good thing to do. He is one of the first unlockables you got in the game as you're going through the story. Agrayes, I think that's how you pronounce it. I honestly don't use her that much. Even late game, like, she's cool. She has abilities where she can hit multiple targets. She has these sword abilities that can do decent damage. She's basically a better knight, I guess you could say. So with her abilities, if you're going to use her, I suggest, doing the item route, buffing her damage output with attack up. You throw in, where is it? Oh, I don't have it anymore. Right. The diamond bracelet or power gauntlets, which you unlock earlier, which give like a boost to damage. Give her like a decent evasion or defensive boosts here from these 2 slots. You obviously want her movement to be good, so your movement you want to get up to +3, something like that. So that's what I suggest if you're using her. Like, she's not a total waste of a character, but I don't use her often because there's other unlockable characters you do get down in the story that are better, like Orlando and stuff like that. So I've only unlocked so far these two. Um, and then the rest of my party, I fill up with like monsters and unlockable characters. You do have 50 slots, which is quite a bit. Um, I believe it's more than the original had, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that's my video on Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered. It's a fantastic game. I would suggest anyone that likes tactical games go out and get this game. It's worth the money. You get to play the remaster version with the quality of life options, or you can play the original version from. It's basically the War of the Lions version, but without like the extras stuff, essentially, because it's not the original, which I have right here. But it's still cool that you can go back and play the technically original version, and you got the remastered, so you can choose between both. The difficulty, they have added in the difficulty levels, so you have easy, original, and hard. Of course, they added a hard mode because, why not? Everything has to have a hard mode in it. I think you should play if for your first, playthrough, try it on easy, get used to the game, and then change the difficulty once you get used to the controls and how everything works and whatnot, because the challenge there will keep you on your toes. Easy, it's still enough there where you can't just like not level up, but like easy mode gives you more slack. The original difficulty is the best version to play overall because you're getting like that same feeling, that same difficulty. You have to level up, you have to watch your battle order and everything and whatnot. Alright, so enough talk, let's get into a game. You can actually flee from combat, which is nice, but I'm not fleeing from this combat. So to level up your guys, you will still go between these two spots, which you saw me on the map going back and forth between the two city areas. That's how you level your guys up, back and forth, the easiest way, the easiest points. You can do it with like other areas, but enemies do level with you, so keep that in mind. But this spot here, this is what I use to level my guys up every time.
I'll do what I can.
We will triumph. I am ready to fight. All right.
And there we go.
No turning back.
So all you're gonna fight on this area here is chocobos, cats, and goblins. They're not gonna change. So here you see you can hold your right trigger, get a top view of the map to see where you're moving.
It's over!
You're almost 200 per hit. So that's just me getting started with that character. Alright. Dude. Jump. Sky. I got a 209 damage from the jump. Yeah, I'm gonna move. dancing. And I'm going to increase the speed of everybody. What's cool about the dancer is that he's dancing, and it doesn't matter where your characters are on the map. They'll get the effect of the whatever song he's singing. All right, so here with Grandma. So in the game, like your fire damage and frost damage and all that do better against certain types of creatures. So there's that to keep in mind, but you know, I'm just like not paying attention to that right now because of the battle. Um,
Nothing can stop me.
destroyed him. Okay.
You have my thanks.
Speed.
That's more like it.
Another cool quality of life thing is the fast forward. So if I hold the right during the course of the enemy's turn, you can speed the battle up a little bit. Move there for now. I'm not really like leveling anybody really here. I'm just showing you the battle for my guys.
Take this.
Yeah,
My turn.
like the counter is like double hit. It's insane, especially when like he's doing like 9999. So it's yeah, he's not really doing much.
Leave this to me.
So pretty much like I have my main character Monk like just kicking ass. Like I know he's taking damage, but he's got the counter, and I really don't care. He's taking minimal damage from.
My turn. Down with you.
Yeah, like one hit, two hit powerhouse for the monk. So my guys aren't really gonna get over there in time.
My turn.
Not even half damage there.
Fall.
And boom, done. Like, yeah, the monk is sick, and if you want to do like your whole party's monks, go for it. It would be like an OP party. But for me, I like to keep like a good mixture of different types of classes. Sometimes I like, what you can do is you can go to like city, and you can buy
To the warriors, what sorts
recruits,
of
and you
recruit
can
are you
level
looking
them up and kind of give you like options if you want to try different types of classes and mixtures.
You have another top
But I always stick with sorry, my Discord's going off. I know you can hear it, but yeah, you can mix it up if you want to do that. You can send
Welcome to bless the spirit.
people on quests, as you can see here. But I don't do that with my main guys. Here is a shop where you buy like your weapons, your armors, and so forth, your potions.
No, don't be a
So the equipment is different. So here at this castle where I'm at is more going to have like armors and heavy weapons here, where this over here you're going to have the shop selling, staffs and stuff like that. So
don't be a
like I said, to level my guys up, at least what I do is I go between these two here, with the planes being like my battles where I level my guys up. I unlocked, obviously you can see I unlocked like a bit of the story so far. I'm on chapter 3 already. And but I remember when I first played, I unlocked maybe up to this point there, and I was going, took like days, but I was going between these two spots here, just on this one particular area, and I got my guys up to level 99. Level 99. So by the time I reached the end boss, I was like smoking everybody. Um, but you know, if you're like want to challenge there and you want to level your guys up moderately, you can do the same deal here, and you know, go through the story as is, because like with each story bit, like I believe right now, um, the story level is, I think, level 11 or 12. I'm already at 50, or yeah, 50, 49 for, yeah, so I'm obviously, uh, I wouldn't say coasting through the battles, but I am doing better than if we were to go straight through the story, leveling up, which you can do. I mean, that's your choice, right? But uh, that pretty much is my video for Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered. I know it's a bit of a long one, but I kind of wanted to touch on various things in the game. Some stuff that if you're a newcomer, maybe you don't know about. If you're a veteran of Final Fantasy Tactics, what am I talking to you for? You know what you're doing. But just kind of like my views and my party mixture currently there. This party I have, like the monk and the lancer are my top two, always go good to go classes that I do for every playthrough, along with the summoner. The last two spots with the dancer and thief I mix and change through each playthrough, but my main three is the monk, lancer, and summoner every single time, because their damage output is insane. So I go with that. Alright everyone, thank you for watching my video. Give a thumbs up and a like and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next video.